Yeah, I already clicked live and we're live and you're chewing. Hello, everyone. Tanya's chewing. We're ready to go.
Ready to go.
We are ready to go. All right. So we are live on a bunch of different places. We're live on LinkedIn. We're live on YouTube, Twitter. And we have a very awesome topic today. And I'm excited to have people listen because this is a topic that we like to talk about, I would say, every couple months. And, you know, as entrepreneurs, we always say entrepreneurship ain't easy, right? And so today's topic's great. So let's backtrack, guys. Welcome to the Think Millions podcast. We do this every week, and every Thursday we go live, and then we stream this on all of our podcasts. And today we're going to talk about unleashing entrepreneur success, the crucial skills you need to know. And here's the reality: entrepreneurship is hard. It's not easy, and anybody that tells you, "Oh, it's cake," is lying, right? It requires unique skills. It requires determination, right? And it requires resiliency. It requires a lot of different things. So whether you're a brand new founder, whether you have experience, whether you are, an innovator or a marketer or whatever you are, there are crucial skills that you need to know how to run a business. And what I find is that every time I meet people that go from a 9-to-5 to a business, a lot of times if they don't learn the proper skills, they fail because there are skills that you need that you will not need in a 9-to-5 job. And if you don't learn those skills, then it's very difficult to thrive as an entrepreneur, especially in today's competitive environment, right? So in today's podcast, Tanya and I, hello, Tay.
Hello.
I think because we just got off with our European clients, now I'm changing my accent. Hello, mate. We're going to dive into the... Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're from Sweden. It's like complete wrong part of the country. Okay. On that note, and today we're going to talk about the essential skills that we think that you need to know. And this will hopefully empower you. And what I want you to do is, while you're listening to this, grab a pen and paper. And I want you to write down every skill we talk about. And then I want you to rank yourself 1 to 10. Then what I want you to do is go to a business partner or a coach, somebody that's involved enough in your business to know you, but not somebody that's like reports to you because they're going to tell you you're a 10 out of 10. I want them to rank you, and I want you to compare yourself. And Tanya, you and I are going to do this. So this is going to be fun. We're going to rank each other. Okay.
Okay.
So let's dive into the skills first that I think are super important. So why don't we go back and forth maybe? So I'll give one, you give one. I have no idea what you're going to give, so we might overlap. I don't know.
That's right. Let's do it.
I'm going to give the first one. I'm going to give the first one.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
To me, the very first skill, I'm not even going to talk into hard skills yet. Right.
Yeah, that's a funny point, because a lot of people are probably sitting here listening and they're thinking, oh, I got to know how to, use a CRM or blah, blah. They're probably thinking it's that type of skills, but we're going to surprise them right now.
Yeah, I think so. Because there's hard skills and then there's soft skills. And to be honest with you, the hard skills is easy to learn. The soft skills are the hardest, right?
Are the most important.
So there's both. We're going to go through 10. I'm going to write them down actually. So I can rank me and you. Okay. So to me, my first skill is adaptability. To me, this is actually the most important skill, because the business landscape, especially since COVID and the global market has become even more global, it is changing so quickly. And successful entrepreneurs are able to pivot. They're able to adapt to new technologies and challenges and market conditions. And so, for example, a lot of our clients during COVID stopped doing marketing spend, right? Because they were nervous, they were scared. And we had a few clients that actually put more money into it because they realized, oh, hey, everyone else is going to stop because they're scared. I'm going to go hard because now things are so cheap. During COVID, advertising was so cheap. Like your cost per lead went from like $50 to like $2. And these people stopped advertising because they were nervous. And in fact, we had a client that literally went through the roof and grabbed a majority of the market share during this time. The other example is you have to tweak, right? People didn't want to spend as much money during this time. So people had to pivot their offer. They had to pivot based on the market conditions. So you have to be open to embracing change and being open to new ideas. And you have to adjust your strategy. We did this in the coaching world, right?
Yeah.
In the coaching world, everybody during the pandemic wanted coaching. And it was literally like shooting fish in a barrel. Like there were so many people. It's a lot harder now because now the world has opened up. People are a little skeptical of coaches because there's like really bad coaches out there. Everybody in the pandemic became a coach and most of them had no experience. So just with all of that, it became very difficult. So we had to pivot too. We had to pivot our offers, right? So that to me is a skill that you have to cultivate. And I think by doing this and learning how to be more adaptable, you're going to be better prepared to navigate this unpredictable world that we live in. And stay ahead of competition. So that's my first one.
I love that. And I think, with adaptability, I feel like there's like different parts to adaptability, kind of. We got to break that down a little bit more even, because you can be adaptable and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to adapt to this new climate and change. But you also have to be willing and very open to taking risk. Right. And, as an entrepreneur, if you want to stay ahead of the curve and you want to really capitalize on emerging trends and what's going on, like we did, obviously, like you just mentioned during the pandemic, you have to be willing to take those risks. Right. And obviously calculated risks. But, it's really, in addition, like the most important skill there, I think, is really getting creative, right, with what's going on in the market, but also being persistent, right? Because it's really easy to be adaptable and switch. And sometimes entrepreneurs switch too much, right? Alexa, they're like, bump, they're all over the place, right? So taking that calculated risk, being willing to obviously, yes, make the change, but have it be calculated, but also just, you always have to be persistent in that. So I feel like that's a different levels there of adaptability. What do you think?
Yeah. And like, all right, so somebody wrote, pivoting has been tough. And yeah, it is tough. It's why it's a skill. And I think there's a couple reasons for this. Pivoting is tough, one, because as entrepreneurs or as people, sometimes we're not looking for the pivot. We're not looking for, I'm constantly every day, ask Tanya, like, I'm almost like a pessimistic where like, I want to pivot too much because I'm like, oh, this is changing. This is changing. And I have Tanya and Deb to kind of pull me back a little bit and say, yes, we need to pivot. No, we don't need to pivot. But you need to actually be looking for the pivot. That's the first thing. Yeah. The second thing is like people get scared to pivot. They know they need to pivot, but they're seeing their sales tank and they don't change.
Yeah. That's why I think it's important to pay attention to the why, right? Like, why do you need to pivot and really understand, like, in your strategy, in your marketing, in your sales, in everything, have you collected all the data and is it really pointing you to do that pivot? Because if the pivot's because you're bored or, it's not for a good reason, then obviously there's going to be resistance for a reason. And you have to pay attention. Why am I resistant? Right? Like, what's the why behind that? Is it because the skill set is maybe not mine? Do I need to hire somebody else to help me with that pivot? Do I see that pivot, goal wise, bringing me to where I want to be, but I'm maybe lacking the skills personally, and, or the resources, right? You have to really get to the bottom of why are you resistant for that pivot?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. So let's go to number 2.
Okay.
On you.
Wait, I did 2. It's your turn.
What was 2?
I said that you have to be willing to take calculated risk and you have to be persistent and creative. Are you paying attention? You're not even paying attention.
Yeah, I thought that you were still on adaptability.
No, I mean, it's a different part of adaptability. But
did anybody else think that was number 2? I'm just saying. Okay. So number 1, adaptability. You have to be able to adapt. Number 2, you have to be willing to take risk. Like Tanya said, risk taking, I think, is actually probably one of my biggest strengths. I am not afraid to spend money. And I told this story last week, I think, and I'll tell it again because it's such an important. We've spent so much money on lead generation. so much money trying to figure out the right formula in a very tough, crowded market. And we finally found the formula, and it took a year to figure it out. We poured money into ads. We poured money into people. We poured money into tools, everything. And now, like, we finally found the formula that works for us. Now, sometimes you have to think about, when we launched a client in January, within a week we had 77 leads, right? So sometimes it works immediately, sometimes it doesn't. You have to be resilient to be able to get through that, right? Which is the third thing. So you have to be willing to take risks, but then you have to be resilient to make it through. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. What comes, first, resiliency or risk taking? And I think risk taking comes first, and then resilient comes after. You will face setbacks. You will fail along the journey, and it's resiliency that allows you to bounce back from the challenges. So if you take a risk and you fail, the resiliency is what's going to keep you moving forward, and it helps you have that growth mindset to learn from your mistakes instead of beating yourself up over your mistakes. And that's the most important thing. You're going to fail. It's will you get back up?
Yeah, it's how quickly you get back up and pivot. And I've noticed over the years through my many entrepreneurial journeys that I am quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker at bouncing back, right? Whether it's a personal setback or a setback, with our company as a whole. And that is a muscle that you just have to keep. Persistence is just, a mindset, and it's a muscle that you have to just keep practicing. That's a good one.
This is why coaching's so important.
It's so important. And even just mentors and the people you surround yourself with. If you're hanging around a bunch of weaklings and they're not persistent people and they just give up easily, guess what? It's going to rub off on you. You need to be hanging around some tough people.
And that's why, too, it's like, it boggles my mind, people that pay for coaching but then don't use it. Like, like, we go live every day, and normally on Thursdays we go publicly live. But Monday through Wednesday we go live in our group. So they get private sessions with us. Basically, I mean, we have anywhere from like 5 to max, probably on a call is like 15 people. And just imagine every day being able to hear us and, hey, here's what we're doing that works. Like last week, I went live on Wednesday with our head of lead gen and shared the entire system that we're using right now. Literally, we have a lot of money, like millions in the last 14 days with this new system, and we gave it all away to our students. So there's that piece of being in the know, but there's also being able to sit here, ask us questions. Like, we have a couple students that just ask such good questions. Like yesterday, we were done 20 minutes early, and they were asking me questions like, how do you keep going, Alexa? How do you deal with this? And they were asking me like questions, and I was raw and honest. You won't get that from a public forum, So just being around other people.
Because we're publicly honest anyway. So
yeah. But I'm saying daily, like being around people like that daily, I think completely changes the game.
It 100% does. All right. What number are we
on? Number 4.
4. Okay.
4.
All right. Next one that I would say, soft skill, it's the ability to learn quickly, right? Because today's environment is very fast paced, right? And we have to, as entrepreneurs, constantly adapt to new situations, but also new technology, like new trends that are going on. Just, we have to be able to learn and adapt very quickly to stay ahead of the competition, right? If we have a very slow learning curve, by the time we learn something, that skill, we're going to fall behind. And, we always talk about this, and Alexa, you can chime in on this conversation, it's important as a solopreneur when you're first starting out to learn all those skills, right? We have people that start out, we're going to use sales as an example. They're like, oh, I don't want to do sales. And they just want to pass it off. No, like, you have to know your process. You have to really know your offer. Is it working, et cetera? You have to dive into the sales first, right? Same thing, with a lot of other parts of your business. So I think that's an important one. What do you think, Alexa?
Yeah. I mean, this is why data is so important. And it's like, we almost have so much, it's actually funny. We just had a lead come in. And like, sometimes we have leads that come from places. I'm like, I don't even remember putting a lead form there. And I'm like, look at this lead. I'm like, where the hell did this lead come from? But the most important thing is,
where did it come from?
Where did it come from, right? We talk about marketing by modification, how important data is. That's how you learn from a business perspective, what is and isn't working. And then the other side of it is, how do you learn to be innovative and do new things? That's other people, right? So super important, which then brings it to the next, we'll talk about number 5, because it actually transitions into this, which is decision making. The number one reason why entrepreneurs fail is because they can't decide. They're not good decision makers. Me, I make decisions sometimes too quickly, but I make decisions. Whether it's right or wrong, I make a decision. And a lot of times, like Tanya and Deb will be like, Alexa, make the decision. I'm like, yes, no. Like, if it's wrong, it's wrong. And sometimes Tanya will be like, I told you so. I'm like, yeah, but at least I made a decision.
Well,
it was wrong.
You always say you're going to say, I told you so. And then I'm like, well, I didn't say that.
Well, you say it a lot too, where I'll make a decision and sometimes it's wrong. And Tanya will be like, I told you not to hire that person.
That's usually based off of my weird spidey sense of reading people. So,
but your spidey sense isn't always right. But it's right a lot of times.
99.9%.
Well, it's like 90%. Okay. I'll give 9 out of 10 times it's right.
I'll take the 90%.
Okay. There you go. But my point is like, I'm not afraid to make a decision, whether it's right or wrong. And if you can't, from daily operations to long-term strategies, make decisions and be confident in it, then like you're never going to learn. Going back to 4, you're never going to learn what doesn't work, because you're just not making decisions. Like nothing's going to move.
Nothing's going to happen. Nothing. True.
Our father used to always say, like, pros and cons list and then make a freaking decision.
Yes. It doesn't matter.
I skip the pros and cons list now and I just make a decision.
Yeah, it's like quick. It's like pros, cons. Okay.
Yep. In the brain.
Decision is yes. That's
like a robot.
Yeah. So, here's the next one. And honestly, it might be one of the most important ones. Not that we're going in any type of order, but you have to have really good communication skills, right? Like, communication is literally essential. First of all, just for living in any type of relationships, whether it's in your personal or, entrepreneurial life. But we have to communicate effectively, right? So in order for us, I think about me, you, and Deb, for us to be effective, we have to have really good communication to be on it, right? Like, we cannot have these jagged edges or people that aren't communicating amongst us, because then it's not going to work, right? So you have to get really, really good and clear at communicating and building relationships, right? Within your obviously internal circle, with your, team, right? With your clients, potential clients, but also you have to get really good at negotiating, right? And communicating those type of skills. So I feel like communications definitely has to be on that list.
And communication can be broken down because, like, overall, I think I'm a good communicator.
But I can't wait to do this with each other. We're doing this on the call live, right?
But, well, yeah, we'll do it live. But, like, to me, all right, I won't go into, like, me, but, like, there's different forms of communication. There's, like, overall, are you good at communicating? Are you good communicating to clients? Are you good communicating to your team? Are you good communicating to your, partners? Are you good communicating to people that suck? Like, you and I both suck at that, for example, but we're good communicating to client. Like, so communication is kind of a loaded one, but we could break that down into like 10 other categories. But
maybe we'll just do 3. We'll do like amongst your team, right? Whether it's C-suite or whatever, your team. We'll do front facing to the client. Why did I say 3?
What about public forums?
Like, and sales negotiation.
Sales, yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Well, sales is a whole other part, but okay.
Well, so communicating and negotiating your offer.
All right, so number 7 is lead gen. Now, this is a hard skill. This is probably, I'm not even get to sales yet, because if you can't do lead gen, you're not going to have anybody to do sales to, but you have to be good at lead generation. You have to understand how to get clients. You have to understand, social media, like that is part of it now. You have to understand whether you are the one executing it is a whole other story. But like, I look at it's our systems have become so good, our lead gen systems, that like, I look at how, not that it's complicated, they're simple to us, but to somebody that's not technical, they'd be like, wait, what? I have to do this tool, then I have to do Zoho and this and that. And like, and we've created like step-by-step programs to teach people how to do it, and how to do cold email, cold texting, and so, AI and integrations, But it's, it is complicated. So whether you are the one executing or not doesn't really matter. It's, do you understand the strategy of how to do it as a business owner and the things that you need to do? Should you be on LinkedIn? Should you be on Instagram? Should you be, doing cold emails? Should you be going to networking events? Whatever the strategy is, you have to at least know how to do it and then figure out how to execute it.
That's my next point, actually. What number are we on? I can't even keep up. I have so many.
Eight.
That's my next point, is strategic thinking. So we talked about adaptability. We talked about persistence. We talked about communication. But there's a huge difference.
Totally a 10 here.
What? But there's more than 10.
I'm a 10
okay.
here.
Oh, you're like on a 20 here. I mean, but here's the thing, guys. In the beginning, you might suck at it, and that's okay, right? You're going to try to strategically think. And again, like Alexa mentioned, you might fail. It's okay. But strategic thinking, when it comes to goal setting, when it comes to understanding the steps that you have to take, is super important. A successful entrepreneur, they're able to really think strategically and plan for the long term, but also to set those short-term incremented goals that are going to get them there. If you cannot think strategically like this, you're going to be running around like a chicken with their heads cut off, or like Alexa will say, without a GPS, right? So that this means that you have a very clear vision of your business, right? What it is, what you do, who you serve, where you're going, understanding the market, right? Understanding your competition, and developing the plan to achieve the goals through all of that. So I think that is like really a very important skill.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say number 9 and let you kind of talk the most about it, because number 10 is one I want to talk about.
Oh, that wasn't number 9?
Strategic thinking was 8.
Okay,
and then we have 9 and 10. Okay. And I want to make sure that you say this one, because it's I'll give you a hint. It's your favorite thing in life, in business.
Oh, like energy, positive thinking, mindset.
It's the second most favorite thing.
Sales?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You want me to talk about it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. It's literally the most important. I keep saying every point is the most important, but this is really important.
It's all important. That's why we have the top 10 list.
Yeah. But when we talk about communication, right? When you're first starting out, you're figuring things out, right? You're kind of looking outside the market. You're looking inwards, right? Of your skill set. And you're like, what is it that I can offer? Right. And once you really nail that down, you're understanding your target audience. Sales is just a conversation. And this is a thing psychologically. I know probably a lot of people out there, whether you're a new entrepreneur or even if you're in it for a while, people always tend to shy away from sales, right? Because they feel they have to be sleazy, or they feel they have to, convince somebody. It's not. It's simply a conversation. The better that we can really truly understand our business, our strengths, and come into this with confidence and having a conversation around what we do, and really have that feeling like you wake up in the morning, and I have this every day, and I'm like, I have so much to give, and our company has so much to give to people out there. Like, there are so many people out there that need us, right? And if I don't go and, quote unquote, sell or have these conversations multiple times a day, I'm doing myself and my company a disjustice, because we have so much to give. So like, I urge everybody out there to master this skill, but to look at it differently. And the only way to build up the confidence, obviously, in the beginning steps, is to know, right? Like, who you're serving, the confidence in your offer, but also to really nail down your communication and the way that you talk about what you do and who you serve. And the more that you do this, the better you're going to get it. And then you're just going to it's going to be like a well-oiled machine, like Alexa said, like we are now, because we know exactly our target audience. We know exactly who we serve, right? And it just comes very naturally, and things will all fall into place, and your whole system and your sales and, everything will just attract you, because this is really important. Everybody has to nail it. You cannot outsource this in the beginning, guys. Nope.
No, it's one of my biggest pet peeves when students are like, I'm going to find somebody to do sales for me. And I'm like,
not be your first hire. No.
I'm like, no, that's not your first hire. That's like your 5th hire. And, I think that the thing is, everyone's like, oh, well, I suck at sales. Well, how about you just and everybody has different personalities. Like, I'm kind of laid back. Tanya clearly is very energetic. And so we're very different. No, you have no energy. Where I'm kind of more laid back, like this is like my sales. I'm going to do my sales call versus Tanya, and then explain why I'm sharing this. So Mine's like, all right, Tanya, what's your business? We can help you. We've made millions. Okay, are you in or you out? Like, that's how I do it. Like, it's just like, dude, like I literally say to people, like, just I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. Google me and then come back. And then you tell me if you want to
what do you
look
think?
me up. Like, where Tanya's like, all right, I want to know what color underwear you're wearing. I want to know your family life story. I want to know everything about you. And she will take like, sales calls are 30 minutes and she'll take like an hour, right? And she's like, oh, I'm so excited. These are your issues. This is what we could do. Where I'm just like, look, you suck at this. Like, we're just so different on sales calls, but we're both good in our own ways because we lean into our personalities, right? And like, I would say we're pretty, the Tanya's definitely better at sales than I am. For sure.
I don't think so. I think
But we're just different, right? We're just totally different in how we sell. And there's sometimes sales calls that I'm on. I'm like, Tanya would not have closed this. And then it's the same as Tanya, where she was like, Alexa would have never closed this lead, right? Like, for example, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example of somebody like a Coralie or like, I don't think I would have maybe closed them, where like Tanya's bubbly personality matched with them, right? So you have to lean into who you are. I personally don't think I'm great at sales, but I've gotten better because I've just kept at it until I continue to get better. And you have to treat it like you're an athlete. You have to record yourself, watch yourself back, get your coach's feedback. If you're not recording your sales calls and leveraging your business coach to listen to them, like I said to Duno the other day, I said on my call, he was like, I really just feel I suck at sales. And like, knowing him, he's young, like he probably has room to improve. So I said to him, are you recording your sales calls? No. Okay, well, record them and then take 5 minutes, not the whole thing, of where you feel you're weak. And on Tuesday calls with Tanya, ask her if you could play 2 to 5 minutes of your sales calls so she can give you feedback, right? And that's how you get better.
Yes. An important point though, I mean, so we all have our own personalities and energy, but it is important on sales to really know how to read the different personality types. And there's a couple different ones. So it's important to match. So like, for instance, to be honest, if I get on a call and someone's super soft-spoken, guys, I'm not as loud as I normally am. So you do sometimes want to match tonality and really understand how to read certain people, right? I mean, there's people that like really value more relationship and they make decisions right away. There's people that are analytical that want to hear the stats, right? There's totally different personality types. So it's important to be able to learn and read that too. What's number 10?
So I'm kind of struggling with 10 because I have 2 left.
I have like 5 more, but let's just do it. You pick it. I can't pick.
Oh, they're both important, but okay. I'm going to actually cross out what I put and I'm going to change it. Okay. So it's financial management.
Woo! Where's Deb? Cash flow. Where's Deb?
Cash flow. Even when she's not here, we're saying cash flow.
She's watching us. She should have just came on.
Debbie.
Come on, Deb.
Just because you're in a different country on vacation does not mean you can't go on the live with us.
Yeah, she could have came on.
Yeah, she could have came on. So anyway, financial management, cash flow is, I would say, after businesses make money, I would say this is a primary reason why they fail. I would say starter businesses fail because they're not resilient. They have the wrong offers. They suck at sales. Once they get past that and learn that, the next thing why businesses fail, I would say in the 6 figures, like I look at Elizabeth, for example, when I heard how much gross money she was making and her profit margins, I'm like, I don't understand why you still don't make personally more money. And she's like, well, and then we started digging into it. I'm like, girl, like you're like spending way too much money. It's kind of like, guys, as a business owner, you can't keep up with the Joneses. You want to take risks, but a lot of times we're spending stupid money. We're bad with cash flow. We either pay ourselves too much. We don't save money. We're investing it in the wrong places. Like we have a client who spent $65,000 on a business coach, $65,000, which is like, okay, if you're like, 6 figures going to 7, but they were a brand new business and they only made $80K. So they spent 80% of their money on a business coach, and then they wiped out their money, and then the business coach sucked and flopped and didn't help them. yeah, that's why you have no cash flow and why you're broke, because you spent 80% of your money on a crappy business coach. Like, no, that's not what you should do, right?
No.
So you gotta learn your strengths and your weaknesses, because financial management is crucial because it helps you make better informed decisions and it helps you ensure long-term stability. Do you know how many of our students didn't even have like QuickBooks? They have no
Yeah.
idea what money's coming in, what money's coming out. And financial management also includes collecting money.
Does. And if you're looking to, like, I grew my brick and mortar. If you're looking, I grew my brick and mortar and sold it in the pandemic. Now, that means I had really good books. I had a really good, obviously, cash flow and everything to show that obviously that I knew what I was doing, right? And if you don't do that, and if you're looking to one day really use this business as an asset and flip it, that is really an important point. It really, really is. You
Yeah.
have to.
So you wanna rank?
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So I'm gonna go through each of these. We're gonna summarize and then we're gonna privately rank ourselves, and then we will publicly share each of them.
Okay, wait, let me get a pen. Okay.
Are you all ready? I want to see it in the comments. We get more cheers for Deb in the comments than for me, by the way. Like,
Yeah, what the heck? How about Tanya?
everyone's cheering
Oh,
for
Tanya,
Deb.
it makes sales seem so easy. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't see that. You know, we don't know who it is because it just says, "Oh, I got it! Woohoo! Thank you, I appreciate it." All right, so okay, number one, adaptability.
Okay.
So I'm gonna rank me and you, or just
No,
you?
you're ranking me. I'm ranking you.
Well, I want to rank ourselves too. So rank both.
Rank ourselves. Okay.
Rank me and you. Okay. So I want everybody listening to also do this. Okay. So rank yourself 1 to 10, 10 being like you are so adaptable, so freaking adaptable. Okay. Number 2, risk taking.
Okay.
Okay. Number 3, resiliency.
Okay.
Okay. Number 4, learning quickly. 5, decision making. 6, communication. Do we want to rank all 3?
Yeah.
Or do you want to just do general? Let's do team and client. Let's just rank those.
Team, client.
Okay. Lead gen. Okay. Strategic thinking.
Okay.
Sales.
Okay.
And financial management. Okay. All right. So for adaptability, I ranked me and you both an 8.
I gave you a 10 and me a 9.
I think we're pretty, I feel like you could always be, improved. So I feel like we adapt pretty well. Sometimes we hold on to
Clearly,
things.
you're a hard ranker. I see how this is going to go. And I'm just like,
no.
All
right. Number two, risk taking. I ranked me a 10 because I'm like,
I did
risky.
too. I gave you a 10.
I gave you a 7, and that's not a bad thing either.
That's what I gave myself too. So
yeah,
we're on the same page.
Resiliency, I gave us both a 10.
Me too.
Okay. Learning quickly, I gave us both a 10.
Oh my God, I gave myself a 7. I feel like I'm a slow learner.
I feel like you learn very quickly.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good.
Decision making, I gave myself a 10 and you an 8.
I gave myself a 9 and you a 10. So we're close.
Okay. We're close. All right. Communication for the team. I gave me a 4 and you a 5. Because you and I are not the best communicators.
I did 6 and 7. So clearly we just
only because you and I expect people to just get it, and like we get frustrated easily. Clients, I gave us a 10 and a 10.
I did too.
Yeah. Okay. We're on the same page. All right. Lead gen, I gave me an 8, you a 7.
Okay, I gave you a 10 and me a 9.
Okay. I'm a harder ranker.
Yeah.
Strategic thinking, I gave me a 10, you a 9.
Okay, I gave 10, 9. Same.
There you go. Sales, I gave me an 8 and you a 10.
I gave you a 10 and me a 10. I think we're equally as good as well.
Aw, thank you. No, I think I could be better. Financial management, I gave me a 6 and you a 4.
Yeah, I gave myself a 1. I gave you a 9, but I feel like Deb is our financial advisor
No,
here. She's
I'm
our
really
10.
good at making income. I am not good at managing it. I just like I want to. Tanya's like, can we spend $5,000 on this? I'm like, yeah, go. We went to Vegas.
I'm
We
better
spent
at
like
spending it. I'm better at spending it.
every event we have, I overspend. Like we went to Vegas and we went. Well, I don't know. We took clients out. We spent like $75,000 at
No one
clubs.
told you to get that huge thing of Magnum or whatever that was.
But it was really fun. Like, it's memories we'll
Dang.
have forever. If it's up to me and Tanya, we're renting yachts and,
Yeah, we're
whether we have the
really
money or not, we're doing it.
And then Deb, if she was with us, she would have been like, guys, this
As your COO,
we're
I
70%
cannot allow
over
you
our
to
spend
spend
rate.
this money.
We are losing cash flow by the minute. Put that down. Put
If
that
Tanya
bottle
and I-
back.
Put it this way, Deb gave Tanya the Think Fuel credit card 2 days ago, and I almost had a panic attack. I'm
Wait
like
a minute.
I'm constantly hitting the refresh button on what's being spent.
No, that's because she's in Portugal and I had to fix something. That's it. That's all we used it for. Don't worry. I'll let you know when I go shopping.
And you're right. Look, Alexa always says people pay for experience. And guess what? All the clients that we brought out and spent $75,000 on, and we got big bottles of champagne, and we had crazy dinners. Like all those people are still here, so we're doing okay, right? Well, not employees. We fired all those people, but the the clients are still here. That's what matters. The paying people, not the people we pay. All right. So to summarize, guys, entrepreneur journey, it's exciting, but it's challenging. You have to develop these crucial skills. You'll be better equipped to navigate the troubles and the hardships of entrepreneurship. And remember that it's essential to invest in your personal growth. That's through courses, classes, education, coaching, networking, events. It is so important, but also in reflection and setting goals for yourself and what you want to work on and maybe what your weaknesses are. Tanya and I just went through this entire list and we were very honest with what we are good at and what we're not good at.
Alexa ranks harder, clearly.
Tanya's a 10 in everything. But like, and then you have to understand you can't fix everything about yourself. Right. So always remember, just pick 2 or 3 things a year. Like last year was the year of sales for me. I said, I'm going to get better. So I took sales calls. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take some sales calls. I'm going to get better. I'm going to record it. I'm going to listen to myself. I'm going to let people review it. So you have to continue to refine your skill sets.
Yeah.
Take your
last
weaknesses.
Year was communication for me. That was my thing last year.
Yeah. You went from a 4 to a 6. You did good.
That's it. That's improvement. I'm happy with that.
Improvement. I went from a 2 to a 4, or I went from a 5 to a 4. I might have gone backwards. But it's important, guys. You have to keep refining your skills, turn your weaknesses into your strength. But remember, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So don't feel you have to fix everything at once, but you have to be able to look in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. And if you can't tell yourself the truth, then get a coach that will tell you the truth. And all my students will tell you, I will tell you the goddamn truth.
I'll tell you how it is. See, we're truthful to each other too. We know where we suck.
Yeah, you're a 10 out of a 10 in everything. So, all right, the 10 things I'm going to refresh: adaptability, risk-taking, resiliency, learn quickly, decision-making, communication, lead generation, strategic thinking, sales, and financial management. Some other ones, leadership is also important that we didn't talk about, being able to network in a group of people. That was definitely my weakness 4 or 5 years ago. I worked really hard to get good at that. Now I go to events and I have too many leads. Time management's another one we didn't talk about. That's
emotional
also really
intelligence.
important.
We did not talk about that.
That's
super
important.
important.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, but again, pick 2 to 3 things, and that's what you go with. So that's what we have today. I appreciate all of you. If you have not already, hit the follow button, hit the subscription button, Follow us. If you want more of our podcasts and our lives, you can either DM me to get into our private Facebook group, or you can follow the Think Millions podcast. It's on Apple, Spotify, etc. And we go live every Thursday, but we launch podcasts that aren't live Tuesdays and Thursdays. So this is not the only podcast we launch. We have a lot of other podcasts that we do as well. We have a lot of fun doing it, to be honest with you.
This one was really fun. I think we should rank Deb and then put it in the comments. And have Deb rank us.
Let's rank her right now.
Okay.
Okay. Adaptability. For those that don't know Deb, she's our COO and we miss her. So so adaptability, I'm going to rank her 6.
Okay.
No. I'm thinking risk taking. Risk taking is definitely a 6, I think. Adaptability, yeah. I think she's pretty adaptable, actually. I'm going to give her an 8.
Okay. 8.
What do you think?
Yeah, I was going to say 7, 8. Same.
Okay. Risk taking, she's a COO. She doesn't like taking risks.
2.
No, she's like a 6.
No. Yeah, I was going to say 5.
Resiliency, I think 9. She's very resilient.
Oh, yeah, 9, 10.
If not 10.
Yeah.
Learning quickly, 10. Unless it's technology, then it's a 2.
It's actually better at technology than me, so I'll definitely.
Really? Okay, so maybe she's a 10. She did learn WordPress pretty quickly. Yeah. Learning quickly, I would say 9, 10. She's sharp as a tack.
I think 9. I would give her 9.
Decision making, 5.
I was gonna give her a 6. Sometimes she's a little slow to make decisions.
Maybe 4. Yeah, she always second guesses herself. Alexa, what do you think? I'm like, just make a decision. This is literally our cut. I will put it in capital letters. I'm like, make a decision. Just do it. If it's wrong, I don't care. Lead generation. She's odd. She doesn't have a lot of leads, but when she does, she has pretty good leads. So I give her a 7 for lead gen, and not for volume.
You skip communication.
Yeah, she's actually made us a good amount of money the last 2 years. So she's not bad at it. Strategic thinking, 10. Wait, she might be better than me, to be honest.
You skip communication with the team and client.
Oh, I skipped that. Yeah. I think she's a great communicator.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think she's me and you.
Oh yeah. I think she's 9.
9 and 9.
Well, I'm going to give her an 8 because sometimes she's a little non-emotional.
Oh, and that
that
one
will be
that sounds really mean. Let's adjust that.
Yeah. So I'll give her an 8, but clients 10 out of 10. Clients love her.
Yeah.
Sales, I think maybe a 6.
Yeah, I agree.
But she's good on a group sales call.
Yeah.
But she talks a lot. And as sales, being good, you have to listen. We all kind of talk a lot. Financial management, I mean, 9 out of 10. She wouldn't be
10. I give that finance a 10. So
all right, there you go. All right. So this is now the end of this podcast, and we would like to know what you rank yourself. So please shoot us a DM, or you can write us at support@thinkconsultinggroup.com. Think with a Y. And we would love to hear what your ranking is. And we appreciate all of you, and we'll see you next week.